Hello everyone, good morning. This is Vijay Lakshmi. In this semester, I am going to handle public international law. Before going to the public international law in a detailed manner, first let me give the introduction as to this public international law. In my introduction, I am going to give first of all the significance of law. While we are discussing as to the significance of law, first our questions they must be posed. What is this law? Who are enacting? What is the purpose? What is the object of this law? These are all the questions we have to pose ourselves and we have to get the answers. Law in general, all the students you may have some idea that there will be some statutes or some enactments under which the persons or the citizens or the even non-citizens sometimes they are exercising some rights, enjoying some benefits under those particular statutes. If we pose the question that if there is no law, what will happen? Law in the sense it is very wider, it is having general meaning. We are just reducing the norm of law into a narrower one by enacting some statutes, by enacting some acts, some pieces of legislations. But the question is, if there is no such law, such mechanism in our country or in any other country globally, what will happen? What is the requirement? What is the object of the law? Means, if there is no any proper controlling mechanism, we all know that the law is controlling the citizens in the form of so many statutes. And also we know that the constitution is a supreme document, which is the governing document of any particular nation. Under the constitution, only so many wings are running. We are absolutely under the control of the constitution. Since constitutionally we can't derive directly any benefit, all the constitutional provisions which are given under part 3 and part 4, what we are doing is we are giving a practical shape to them by enacting pieces of legislations for each and every individual areas or each and every individual fields. Like that we are narrowing down the norm of this law. But if there is no this law at all, suppose if there is no any law, any statute, what will happen? The consequence will be all the individuals, all the citizens, whoever residing in any particular country, they be enjoying absolute freedom. Since there is no control, law is nothing but a controlling weapon. It is in the hands of the state. If that law is not there, if such mechanism, controlling mechanism is not there, we know that the individuals, they do have the complete freedom and they can behave as per their whims and fancies, and to achieve any particular objective, though it is illegal, though it is unlawful, the individual may go to any extreme and he may cause undue loss, undue harm to the other parties to gain their selfish motives or objectives. If that will happen, if that is going to happen, the consequence is completely chaos. It is leading to complete violence in any state. That means barbarous situation may arise. It be completely barbaric. We don't want that. We want every nation, every country, every state, they must enjoy that particular nation in a peaceful manner, and all the citizens living in the country must enjoy the fruits, whatever they are available in that particular nation or country. Therefore, law is nothing but, I can say by citing an example, how the teacher, she or he, holding a cane in their hands in their respective classrooms to control the students in the classroom. The students may be just moving here and there, and they may be in a little bit in imbalanced positions. They may be there. They may be making so much noise to control the behavior and attitude of the student, to set right their behaviors. The law, the teacher, she is holding or he is holding one cane in their hand only to cause some apprehension, only to threaten the student. If the student does not behave properly, if he is not disciplined, then the teacher is going to use that cane against him and subsequently punishment may be awarded. Because of that apprehension in the mind, because of the threat in the mind of that student, the student, he himself or herself, is separating their behavior and they are able to sit in a disciplined manner only because of the fear in their mind that the teacher may use that particular weapon against them. Similarly, law is also like that. Law is nothing but it is a weapon in the hands of the states. The state, it is going to organize, it is going to govern, it is going to administer that particular country by framing some rules and regulations which are laid down, which are being reduced in the piece of paper so as to be useful for the benefit of its citizens, for the benefit of its people. By having that particular piece of legislation, because of that particular statute or law, the people behavior can be very much controlled by the state. That state is able to control. That means law is nothing but a controlling mechanism in the hands of any particular state. We are all being governed under a particular law in any country. Globally, we are having all the countries, they are having respective laws, respective statutes in their respective domains to control and govern the population residing in their areas. Here we know that here only you people have to draw one point. Law is generally of two kinds. One is private international law and one is public international law. Apart from that, there is also categorization public international law and domestic laws. Domestic law is also known as municipal laws. Here we are using the word international as a suffix to the word public. Again, what is this international? Here already law, we have come to know that law is a controlling mechanism to control its population. Some mechanism has to be there. That mechanism be framed by the government and by delegating that power to the parliament who are legislating some enactments for the benefit of the public and which are administered by the government, which are controlled completely by the government. And if anything is going wrong, the judiciary is coming into picture, who are just resolving the cases by giving the decisions. We know that already we have done it because already in your constitutional law you have dealt that there will be three wings will be there. Three wings of the governance will be there in any country. That is executive and legislature and judiciary. Legislature main object is legislating the enactments. That means their prime obligation itself is to enact the laws only. But the simply writing the law is not enough for us. Simply writing something on a piece of paper is not enough for us. We have to realize the fruits of that paper, whatever they are given in that paper. The people have to realize the fruits of the contents in the paper. That realization can be done only by the wing of the executives. That means executive role is completely confined to the implementing whatever that is given in the statute form given by the parliament. That means completely executing, implementing authorities, implementing mechanisms are vested in the hands of the government. And similarly here the third wing, the judiciary, is taking control. Whenever some disputes are taking place, the judiciary is going to resolve it by interpreting the law, by giving the decisions. Now, national law is there, international law is there. National law means whatever the law that is there in any particular country. That national law is also known as domestic law. National law is also known as municipal law. That means I have given three types: national law, domestic law and municipal law. They are completely confined only to particular domain, particular country, particular state. Especially in our international law, all the students first must be in a position to know. While we are discussing here, we frequently call it as a state only. State here means It is not our independent states in the country. State means at international level, it is the connoting the meaning of the country, nation. State is equal to nation. But if we come to any particular individual country, within that country, if any number of states are there, individually we call them as states. But at international level, the state means nation. It is the country. Here, national laws will be there. National laws, however, just now I have given, the purpose of the national law is control the citizens, to control the population, and to organize them, to see that any benefits are being derived by the public, and they are going to enjoy the peaceful life in any particular country, and they are going to provide so many employment opportunities, and they are going to see the safety and security of the people. These all can be derived under any particular national law by any people in any country. Every country shall have its own national law, but here we are talking about the international law. International law means, again, here it is not international, it is international. That means one nation to the other nation. Intranational means within the country. International means one country to the other country, beyond this, beyond our domain, beyond our territory. Whatever the law that is existing, which is governing our relations, is known as international law. It is not just the relation between one country to the other country. The relations among the countries globally, that is throughout the whole world, they are going to see and they are going to govern the relations with one another. Therefore, it is public international law. Here, one more aspect is, whenever we are talking about this, talking about the public international law, one, we have to focus on the point. First of all, why there is a need to maintain any relations with the other country. If we see the definition part, public international law is a law which governs the rules and regulations among the nations. And another one is public international law is a law which regulates the relations between different countries to achieve a peaceful cooperation, coordination among the countries globally. First of all, my point here is, all the people, you have to draw the point why. First of all, this international law is required for us. If there is no any international law, all the countries, they are having their own domestic laws. They are having sufficiently their municipal laws who can enjoy the benefits out of that state. But why there is a need when every person is enjoying their own domain, their own territory, why need to go to the international law? Means, international law here, the question why it has come into picture and why it has been in the existence, why it has taken its roots is very important for us. Every nation, every country, it may be declaring itself or herself that it is sovereign state. Sovereign means, already you people have some idea. Sovereign means holding some superiority. You yourself can declare that you are the superior. Our country, in our preamble, in our constitution, we are using the word sovereign. India is a sovereign country. We are using in the preamble these words: sovereign, secular and social democratic republic. We are using certain words in the preamble, which is the very heart of our country. The purpose of using this sovereign, what is the purpose of using this sovereign means, we are declaring and we are making a note internationally to all the countries throughout the globe, throughout the whole world, that our India is competent enough to organize its territory and itself is king in taking up any decision so long as it is pertaining to their territorial limits. That means every country is very much independent. They can resolve their internal problems and the state can take any decision for proper controlling of their people, and they need not depend upon any other country. They need not yield to any suggestions given by the foreign countries. Recently, we have seen as to the removal of Article 370 In that also there is so much tough fight went between Pakistan and India, and even so many other countries they tried to interfere in our matter, and they wanted to put it even before the United Nations to get the opinion from the UN. But still, our country, since it has made it very, very clear in the removal of the article or insertion of the article or whatever the decisions that is going to pertain to particular land, particular territory of any nation, that complete freedom is lying in the hands of that state only. There is no interference, there can't be any interference by the other nations there. Unless we are seeking some opinions, they themselves cannot create any binding obligation upon any other country to follow it. Here also we have simply denied them. Though Pakistan it has tried to put the matter before the UN, we have put it very clear that we are not interested to take any opinion from any other. Maybe it is one of the international organizations, maybe it is the superior and apex one, but still, once it is confining to our, the issue is confining to our domain, the issue is confining to our territory. When the issue is completely confining our territory, whatever the decision it is going to take, complete burden is on the part of that particular state only, since it is already declared that it is a sovereign country and it need not yield to anybody else. Therefore, we have politely just rejected, denied to take the opinion of any other nation, and also we have made it very clear that we don't want interference even by the United Nations in this particular aspect. So, every country is very much sovereign and they are very much independent, but still, though every country is very much independent and it can govern its people, it can organize very well within its territory, it can control in all aspects, it is having that much competency. But still, we are seeking, under some occasions, the help of the foreign countries too. Why? Because just I try to give the interpretation in such a way, whenever you are by giving one example only I can tell you, just imagine yourself that you have taken one house recently, or you have just purchased one house recently in any other country or in any other place other than your birthplace. After having gone to that new place, you may not know anybody else there. You are very much new there. Now you have to equip with so many infrastructure for yourself, for your enjoyment there. You need to have one house, you need to have so many facilities containing to that house. Maybe it is water, electricity, like that. You need to have for peaceful enjoyment, you need to have so many infrastructure facilities are required. Here what you are doing, you are depending on some other, your neighbors or some other person or some electricity department or some water department. You are seeking some help from them and you are just trying to get resolved all your problems, and you are interested to maintain some cordial relations and friendly relations with your neighbors, and so that if anything is required by you, you must be in a position to get some help from immediately neighbors or some other persons. If no person is coming forward to help in that new locality, it is going to create some sort of problems. Because if no one is there to help us or to assist us, sometimes it may create so much confusion and it may put to so much distress to that particular owners. Similarly, here also, when a nation is coming to existence, when we are living in international area, definitely so many countries there be, but every nation may not be self-sufficient. Self-sufficiency is very much important for us. You must be first, self-sufficiency must be there. That means you must have all the resources sufficiently to meet your purpose. I may have the house, but I may not have the water facility. I may have the house, but I may not have the electricity. That means I need to depend on some other person to get all this done. That means I am depending, though I am economically well off, but still I am seeking some support from the other person to do some minimum basic for me to get on. If there is no such assistance given by the other person, I will put to so much trouble and I be in soup. Similarly, the nation is also, because the nation it is having so much population, the state is having the obligation to see that all the public they are able to get the justice and they are going to derive some benefits from the state. That means if at all the state has to see or look after the well-being of the public, it must be completely self-sufficient. But in case when it is not self-sufficient, where there are some deficiencies, it has to depend upon some other foreign countries. It has to depend upon the neighboring countries to seek some financial support, to seek some technical support. Like that, you need to seek some support from the foreign adjoining countries. It can happen. That means you can just get the assistance from the other country provided you are going to maintain some relations with the other country. Unless there is no any relation with the other country, you may not be recognized by the other country and subsequently you may not get any help from the other country. That means it is very clear that we have to internationally, every nation has to maintain some relations with the foreign countries, adjoining countries, neighboring countries to get mutual help and mutual benefit. In this angle only, international has come into existence. That means it is the birth. That means the requirement to maintain the relation with the other is, since no nation is self-sufficient in all aspects, every country, every nation for one purpose or the other person, they need to depend upon some other countries. Mutually, we are trying to derive some benefit. You people might come across that every country, US, UK, we are having so much alliance with that, with those countries. We are entering into so many agreements with those countries. Mutually, we are trying to draw some benefits. We are running and regulating our trade relations. Business relations are being run between the countries. That means all the countries mutually they are deriving, drawing some benefit with this mutual cooperation and with this kind relation among the countries. For this purpose only, international law has come into existence. Tomorrow I am going to take the other topic and continuation to this I am going to handle.